Chapters 15 and 16 of Things Fall Apart are all about transitioning the story from descriptions of the way of life for the Africans into the conflict with the white missionaries. Chapter 15 begins 2 years into Okonkwo's exile. Obarika, Okonkwo's close friend, visits him to let him know that all was going well in his absence. While they speak, Obarika mentions a strange event. The village of Abame was destroyed. Essentially, a white man arrived in the village of Abame. Now, no one in the village had seen one before, and everyone was confused as to what his arrival meant. They consulted the village oracle, who told them that the man would bring destruction upon them. And so, to protect the village, they killed him. A long time, several planting seasons passed, and nothing happened, and they assumed that nothing was going to happen. Then more white men showed up, but still nothing happened, and they assumed once again that they were safe. And then, a few weeks after their arrival, the white men showed up at the market and killed everyone. Only the few women and children not at the market escaped. Uchendu, Okonkwo's stepfather and host in his exile, states that they should not have killed the white man, since he said nothing they could understand and there is danger in that silence. Okonkwo agrees that the people of Abame were fools, but he believes it was because they did not come to the market prepared to fight. After making arrangements with Okonkwo about how his goods should be handled in his absence, Obarika departs back for his village. Chapter 16, unlike Chapter 15, does not contain violent deaths, and sees the missionaries begin to integrate into the African society. Obarika returns to Montebat after 2 years, surprised and shocked to find that Okonkwo's son, Nwoye, I can never pronounce that name, has joined them. The missionaries, yes. He has joined the missionaries. At first, only a few missionaries arrived, speaking of the love of God and begging the Africans to give up their pagan ways. Very few listened to them, since what they were saying about God being 3 persons at the same time made no sense, and the translator for the missionaries was comical and somewhat idiotic in his misinterpretations of the language. Most ignored the strange white men. However, some, including Nwoye, were intrigued by the strange, wonderful customs of the strangers, and longed to find out more. The primary purpose of these chapters is exposition. The arrival of the missionaries is a large shift in the book's focus, and as such their arrival is described in extreme detail. These chapters foreshadow and set up events for later chapters when the missionaries and the Africans come into conflict directly. Everything about these chapters is designed to create a divide between the white men and the Africans, from their inability to speak well, even with a translator, to the fact that they basically slaughtered an entire village. I mean, malapropism is basically the most prominent device in the entirety of these chapters. When speaking, the white man's translator is unable to properly understand the dialect of the region, and continually says myself as my buttocks, inciting ridicule and a lot of veiled mockery from the Africans, who clearly understand exactly what is going on, while he has absolutely no idea. The fact that the white man cannot communicate, even with a translator, makes it clear that the Europeans know nothing of the African culture, and the inability of the two groups to understand each other, both in a figurative and literal sense, is highlighted to bring the division between them into focus, foreshadowing their permanent inability to understand each other without one of the groups changing drastically. Character development in these chapters is fairly minimal, since the majority of this chapter is flashbacks to the arrival of missionaries and explaining, them. The important characters in these chapters are Okonkwo and Nwoye. Yes. Okonkwo, while not undergoing any major development, foreshadows his stubbornness and desire for violence as a response to the arrival of the white men, saying about the destruction of Abame, they were fools. They had been warned that danger was ahead. They should have armed themselves with their guns and their machetes even when they went to the market. Okonkwo was unwilling to believe that anything but conflict will solve this problem, and his stubborn unwillingness to change is what ultimately leads to his downfall. Nwoye, on the other hand, undergoes a fairly large change, willingly joining the missionaries despite his father's disapproval, and even going so far as to state, "He is not my father." He is the group of Africans that are willing to join up with the missionaries, and he comes into conflict with his father because he is willing to change and alter his beliefs, which his father is basically unable to do. Ultimately, these chapters are all about setting up the end of the novel where the white man destroys the culture and customs of the Africans. Thank you.